If William Faulkner and Ernest Hemingway knew that that a 22-year-old girl read their books while crocheting for a Gilmore Girls readathon, I feel like they'd be really upset. But, oh well, times have changed. What? Oh my god! I was not expecting that ending. Hello everyone, my name is Carolyn, and I'm ready to crochet my fingers off. It is now time for the Rory Gilmore and Jess Mariano readathon for 24 hours. And if you missed it in my announcement video, I am planning to listen to audiobooks for this readathon entirely while I crochet a blanket. It's time. I currently have the video up that I used to teach me how to do these. I'm just going to put my yarn back. So I watched this tutorial on YouTube, and I can link it down below in case any of you guys are interested in also crocheting. It's a daisy granny square crochet tutorial. I will link it down below. But I'm not doing like a daisy, I'm just doing different colored flowers. I don't remember exactly how to do them because I was doing this in the colder months a few months ago, and then a few months have gone by and I haven't been crocheting as much just because the warmer weather. I feel like crocheting for me is more of a cold climate activity. So I just want to rewatch this tutorial before I start listening to audiobooks just to remind myself how to do them. Oh, I just dropped one. So I have the piles over there of all of the ones that I have done so far, and we are just going to watch the piles grow as I listen to Rory Gilmore and Jess Mariano audiobooks. I haven't actually picked out what books I'll be reading yet because I wanted it to be kind of like a spur-of-the-moment mood read kind of pick. Also, there's a pair right here because today was the Anna Karenina debate for Dickens and Tolstoy, which if you missed that and you'd like to watch it, it's on my channel. Emma and I debated Anna Karenina, and it was probably our favorite debate we've had because we got a bit more competitive, I would say, and we just had so much fun and it was great. So that's why there is a pair there. It's an Anna Karenina reference. Anyway, so I'm going to watch this tutorial to remind myself how to do it, and then once I remember, I will be good and I will just start listening to audiobooks, and I will let you guys know which audiobook I pick. Here we go. Okay, I am once again feeling confident in my abilities, so I think it is now time to start listening to my audiobooks. So it is currently 9:17 p.m. on September 10th, which is Friday. Okay, let's pick. Okay, my choices are The Sun Also Rises, which is 8 hours, A Streetcar Named Desire, which is 2 hours, The Scarlet Letter, which is 10 hours, Pinocchio, which is 3 hours, Then From by Edith Wharton is 4 hours, The Awakening is 5 hours, As I Lay Dying 7, Flowers for Algernon 9, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm just trying to figure out time. Right now it's 9:20. I'm thinking Ethan From by Edith Wharton because I actually just bought myself a copy of that book literally, 2 days ago, and I always like reading the books that I buy as soon as possible from when I buy them, because if I leave them on my shelves for too long, okay, I should be making quicker decisions than this. I think I'm going to do Edith Wharton's Ethan From. There are 2 audiobooks that are available to me, so I'm going to listen to each of them, the samples of them, and see which one I like the narrator of more. So I'm going to be listening with my headphones in just because I enjoy the narrations better through headphones than through the speaker on my phone. So playing the sample. The narrator is not the best with that one. Let's see if the other one's better. Let's see. Scott Brick. Okay, I am going to be listening to the narration read by Scott Brick, which is from Tantor Unabridged Classics, which always look like this. I like his voice, so we're gonna go with him. Okay, Scott Brick is going to be my man for Ethan From. I'm excited. I've been wanting to read another Edith Wharton because I read The Age of Innocence and I didn't love it, but I wanted to give her another chance. Ethan From is not read by Jess, so this will be for the prompt of read a book that Gilmore Girls introduced you to. Gilmore Girls didn't really introduce me to it, but I'm going to use it for that prompt anyway. I think for... oh wait, should I reevaluate my choices? Oh god, I don't know. Oh god, now I'm questioning my decisions. Am I gonna listen to The Sun Also Rises instead? Because that is a Jess book. Let's play the sample. Because it could work for both prompts, that's my thinking. Oh, it has music. Okay, I really like the narrator. His name is William Hurt. It has nice music, which I don't like music throughout the whole thing, but in the beginning and at the end I really like, because I feel like it adds to the story. Okay, I'm gonna do a switcheroo, and then if I have time, which I'm sure I will, because Ethan From is only 4 hours, and The Sun Also Rises is 8, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, that would be 12 hours. I'll have more than 12 hours. Okay, I'm going to start with The Sun Also Rises, and then listen to Ethan From after. That's my plan. Okay, did a switcheroo without planning on it. Okay, we're borrowing The Sun Also Rises. I have been aching to read this book because I love Ernest Hemingway. I mean, his books are hit or miss most times, but most times they're hits. With me, I know so many people have mixed feelings about Hemingway. There's just something about his writing that I love. I find him a fascinating author, a fascinating writer. And The Sun Also Rises is one of his most well-beloved books, and I haven't read it yet, so I'm glad that I'll be listening to it. I always read a Hemingway for the Rory Gilmore 24-hour readathons, and this can be for a Rory and a Jess book. I think this is one of them that they've both read. One of my favorite scenes from Gilmore Girls is when they're sitting on the bridge or the dock after the Bit a Basket episode, and Jess is trying to convince Rory to read Hemingway because she's read Hemingway, she doesn't like him, and Jess says, "Ernest only has lovely things to say about you," something like that, and I just love that scene. It's so sweet. Okay, it is ready for me to listen to. Okay, it is 9:26. I'll say it's 9:25. I'll say it's 9:30. Then it'll give me till 9:30 tomorrow. Okay. It has begun! Okay. The readathon has begun, the audiobookathon has begun, and the crochet-athon has also begun. It's already so good. It's been, what, 1 minute? Oh, it's already so good. Okay. Book 1, Chapter 1. Robert Cohn was once. Oh my god, I love this. Okay, I'm 8 minutes and 11 seconds into the book and I'm already really enjoying it. I am pretty much almost done with my first Daisy Granny Square, and I remember it's reminding me, the way that the book is starting, it's reminding me a lot of A Movable Feast, which I think is my second favorite next to, right after, A Farewell to Arms by Hemingway. So far it's been about this main character and his youth and how he liked to box, and I think it's going to have something to do with bullfighting as well. All topics that were very popular with Hemingway in his real life. He loved boxing, he loved bullfighting, he wrote in Paris. They're talking about writing in Paris. Really enjoying it so far, which is great. I love his writing style. It's so just bland and cut and dry, but there's such a Hemingway quality to it that I feel like any other writer couldn't really do, or I don't like when other writers do it, which is just really strange. I don't know, it just has a quality that I love. So I am going to finish off my first Granny Square, and yeah, we are cutting, pulling through. And now, because I have these little like pieces of where I connected the different yarns, I just have a big needle and I'm going to weave them into the fabric so that you can't see them, obviously, and that they don't unravel. But I'm tightening the middle part so it doesn't have a hole. And I'm going to keep listening to my audiobook. Finished my first Granny Square, and I am 16 minutes in. That took a little bit longer than expected. I'm curious to see how many I will actually do. So we have one. Without further delay, I'm just going to keep churning these out while listening to this book. It has been an hour and 7 minutes. It is now 10:25 p.m. and I just finished my second Granny Square. They are taking me way longer than expected. I think it's because I haven't made them in a while, but this is how they're looking. Pretty good. I'm happy with how they're coming out. I'm really liking the book so far. It's just setting up the story, but all the characters feel very Hemingway, and it feels good to get back into his stories, and I'm really enjoying it. So just thought I would do a little quick update. Now I am going to do a green. I'm going to do a green flower now. Okay, I am paused. It is currently 11:51 p.m. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I should be in bed right now. I'm pausing for now. As you guys just saw, I did my first 4. These are taking way longer than I expected, but I'm having a blast making them and listening to the audiobook. It's just one of those very nerdy things that bring me a lot of joy. I think I'm gonna keep listening to the audiobook while I get ready for bed. I think I'm gonna try to wake up as early as possible, pretty much, without me feeling like a zombie. But yeah, so I think I'm done crocheting for tonight. I did my first 4. I'm pretty happy. I'm going to add them to the pile of granny squares that I've already done, and we're gonna watch the pile grow, but really enjoying The Sun Also Rises so far. Still getting into the story. How much have I read? Let's see. I've listened to 2 hours and 55 minutes so far. I would say it's about 30% of the way through. And I'm really enjoying it. They just got to Spain, which this book is set in the beginning in Paris, and then they travel to Spain for bullfighting. And I'm still like trying to adjust to the characters, but loving the writing. It's so funny. Ernest Hemingway is like, the tree was green, the sky was gray, the air was hot. And he's just so straight and to the point, and I love it. He's just no nonsense, and I think so many writers can be like super flowery and lyrical, and it's gorgeous, and I love flowery lyrical writing that's like full of vast descriptions, but at the same time I find it really gripping and interesting the way that the opposite works for the reader, and I'm just really enjoying it. So my eyes are just ready to stay closed, so I'm gonna get ready for bed. But I am having so much fun so far, and I can't wait to be much more awake tomorrow morning and continue making granny squares. I really have no clue how many I'm going to be able to make in the 24-hour span of time, but we shall see. Okay, I will see you guys in the morning. Good night. Good morning, everyone. I have been getting ready while listening to my audiobook, so I haven't been crocheting, but I have been reading for the past hour and 38 minutes. I got up around 7 o'clock. I woke up, and then I stayed in bed for a few minutes and reposted a few of your posts. I love seeing everyone's updates and everything, and everybody doing the prompts. It has just been such a lovely morning, and then I got dressed. I tried wearing a Rory-ish kind of outfit, so that was the goal for today, and then made a cup of tea, which I feel like is my extravagant hot drink, although it's not extravagant. It's just boiled water with a tea bag. Pretty much just boiled water. But I always have to have my cups of tea. I'm not an extravagant hot drinker. Does that even make sense? It's the morning, please excuse me. It is now 8:39. I got up around 7, and I'm just going to start crocheting. I'm still listening to The Sun Also Rises, really enjoying it. They're talking more about the fiesta in Spain and the bullfighting, and I can definitely feel Ernest Hemingway's affection for it and his passion for it. It just comes right through in his writing, and I'm really enjoying it. The characters are quite unlikable. Not unlikable, but they aren't the kind of characters that you're like, oh my god, I love them. But I think that that's all of Hemingway's characters are like that, and I still do get something out of reading about their stories, of course. So yes, I crocheted those 4 granny squares last night. We're going to try to crochet as many as possible today. I have about, oh wow, I have 2 hours and 42 minutes left, and it's 8:40 now. So about around 11 I'll finish, which that's really soon, and then I can hopefully squeeze in maybe 2 more books after that to get me to, what, 9:25 I started yesterday. So that's my plan, and I'm really enjoying the book so far. Can definitely feel Jess's character through thinking about all the books that he's read. I know I said this in my announcement video that I love how the creators were so specific with the books that he read. Because last Rory Gilmore Readathon, I read Howl by Allen Ginsberg with the thought of Jess and Rory reading it, so it's just really nice to see the care that the creators put into the book choices for their characters. Rory's reading choices are a bit more all over the place, whereas she is like open to a lot of different genres, a lot of different types of books, whereas Jess is a bit more streamlined to a specific type, which I just really enjoy, and I love seeing all of your posts. Like I said, it's just so great. I'm feeling much more awake now, as opposed to last night. I was so tired, and my tea is definitely going to help. So without further rambling on, I'm just going to drink my tea, keep listening to The Sun Also Rises, and crochet more granny squares. So, what a great way to spend a Saturday. Also, I'm using my Stars Hollow mug. I'd rather be in Stars Hollow, which, you know, today we're going to pretend that we are in Stars Hollow. Where is Taylor and Kirk when you need them? Oh my god. Wow. And oh my gosh, okay, I just finished the book. That was amazing. That was so good. And then this edition that I have, it is The Sun Also Rises, the Hemingway Library Edition. I'm just going to take my glasses off because there's a glare. This one says, supplemented with early drafts and deleted chapters with a personal foreword by Patrick Hemingway and a new introduction by Sean Hemingway, which I believe is his son and his grandson. And they also do a bunch of different editions. They did one of A Movable Feast, and it had a lot of extra information as well as photographs and scans of drawings and like typewritten manuscript pages, which is just so cool. And it kind of gives you a different perspective on all the characters, but I should tell you what the book is about, and they do a really good job explaining it on the back. Sometimes I feel like if I try to explain a book, I just don't do a good job. So, published in 1926, The Sun Also Rises is Hemingway's first novel and a classic example of his spare but powerful writing style. A poignant look at the disillusionment and the angst of post-World War I generation. The novel introduces two of Hemingway's most unforgettable characters, Jake Barnes and Lady Brett Ashley. The story follows the flamboyant Brett and the hapless Jack as they journey from the wild nightlife of 1920s Paris to the brutal bullfighting rings of Spain with a motley group of expatriates. It is an age of moral bankruptcy, spiritual disillusion, unrealized love, and vanishing illusions. The Hemingway Library edition celebrates the art and craft of the quintessential story of the lost generation, presented with a personal foreword by Patrick Hemingway, the author's sole surviving son, a new introduction by Sean Hemingway, grandson of the author, and supplementary material from the Hemingway collection at the John F. Kennedy Library. This volume provides readers with wonderful insight. Ernest Hemingway considered the extensive rewriting that he did to shape his first novel the most difficult job of his life. The early drafts, deleted passages, a list of possible titles, handwritten and typed manuscript pages, and related photographs included in this edition elucidate how the author achieved his first great literary masterpiece. That's incredible! Wow, so we have photographs, oh, this one is in Pamplona, which is where the story is set in Spain. See, oh, one of his ticket stubs, another ticket stub, and it's Hemingway trying his hand at bullfighting in Pamplona. Oh, I wonder which one he is. Oh, is that him? I think that might be him. He can be seen right of center in white pants. Yeah, that is him! In white pants and dark sweater facing a charge. That's incredible! Oh, there he is. A news clipping belonging to Ernest Hemingway from the Chicago Tribune. Program from the annual festival. This is so cool. Oh, there he is. That's his wife Hadley, his son John. So cool. And then handwritten first page of the earliest draft of The Sun Also Rises. So this is the stuff that I use for my on-the-page author portraits, which I do for my Etsy shop and my portfolio and just my illustration work. So that's just such a great resource to have. And this is from the John F. Kennedy Presidential Library and Museum in Boston. I don't know why I was expecting it to be longer, but yeah, that's the novel. And then this is just extra information, which I love that they put that in these editions. I really liked the story. I'm trying to figure out how I feel about it in terms of the other Hemingways that I've read. Definitely don't like it more than Farewell to Arms. Farewell to Arms is my favorite. For Whom the Bell Tolls. Which one did I like better, this one or For Whom the Bell Tolls? I feel like I would have to reread For Whom the Bell Tolls. I read that last year, I think. I don't know. I like both of them for different reasons. This was like the quintessential Hemingway. I really found the characters interesting, but I didn't have any attachment to them really, except for Brett Ashley. She was a great character, and Hemingway, the way he writes women can sometimes be not the best. He's not a very polite writer. He uses some language that isn't politically correct and is just unkind in today's day and age, but I feel like with him it felt very true to his beliefs, and not saying that those are correct or right, but I just found it really interesting, and his voice is so strong, and that's what I love about his writing. Rory describes him as the painful Ernest Hemingway, and then Jess says that Hemingway only has lovely things to say about her, which I just love. But yeah, I can see why people would think that he would be a painful writer, because he is just very cut and dry and to the point and doesn't sugarcoat anything and just tells you how it is. And I like that though, because I feel like that's kind of like the reality of life, the brutality of, you know, the bullfighting. Like, it matches the setting, it matches the story. So yes, I think I'm gonna give this 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I have only crocheted the next 4. These are the ones that I've done so far that you guys have seen me do. They're taking me way longer than I remember them taking me, but maybe that's because I never really looked at the time while I was doing them before. So it's 10:55. I am going to, I think, start Ethan Frome by Edith Wharton while I make my lunch and have my lunch, and then I will keep listening to Ethan Frome and keep crocheting my granny squares. At some point I do want to watch an episode, my favorite episode of Gilmore Girls, which is one of the prompts, which I really don't know if I have a favorite episode. I made that prompt and I haven't even thought about it, so yes, I'll see what I do with that. But yeah, a 4-star read, which I think is great. I think, yeah, A Farewell to Arms and A Movable Feast are 5-star reads for me. This one I just think there was something about it that didn't grasp me as much. Maybe it's because I didn't have any connection to the characters, but yes, okay. So time to listen to Ethan Frome without wasting any more time. Let's start Ethan Frome by Edith Wharton. The landscapers just got to my neighbor's house. They always make so much noise. Anyway, I finished the next 4. It is now, I finished them outside and I was listening to Ethan Frome. It is now 1:30. I feel like I'm gonna yell. I have to yell over them. Okay, anyway. It is now 1:30. I have 54 minutes left of the audiobook and my back is starting to hurt because I am even more of a grandma than just crocheting. I have back problems. So my back's hurting a little bit, so I think I am going to go for a walk and finish the audiobook on my walk, just because that always perks me up. And it's getting really, really nice out. Earlier this morning it was pretty cold, so it felt good to put a turtleneck on. But I think I'm going to change and go for a walk and keep listening to Ethan Frome. I'm really, really enjoying the book, but I think I'll talk a little bit more about Ethan Frome once I finish it, just because the landscapers are noisy, but I just wanted to talk about it. Actually, I have Ethan Frome right here, my physical copy. I got this the other day because my favorite independent bookshop near where I live is now officially closed as of yesterday, like closed for business, closed for good, and it's heartbreaking. But I did want to show you, this is a fiction sign, and I went to the bookshop with, they're so loud, I'm so sorry. I went to the bookshop with my best friend Emma and 2 of our friends, and it was so much fun, and then we had just a whole day of it, and it was really lovely. And please stop making noise. And I saw someone, this girl was holding up one of the signs from the store. I think she had a performance arts sign, and I was like, oh my gosh, are they giving away or are they selling the signs in the store? So I asked the girl that was checking me out and ringing up my book, and I was like, can I have a fiction sign? Are you giving them away? And she had one of the other taller male booksellers go get me a fiction sign because they were pretty high up on the shelves near the ceiling. And now I have a part of my favorite independent bookshop for forever. So it's just so nice to have a part of one of my favorite bookish places now with my books. So I put it by my bookshelves. So I have my books here, and you guys know my bookshelves are right over here. I don't want to like move you around, but see? So it kind of shows you like, oh, this is the fiction section. Anyway, so I got this book. This is the last book I ever bought from the bookshop before they closed. I got it on the last day that I went ever when I got the sign. So it just means a lot to me, and I'm so glad that I'm reading it now right after getting it. So yeah, it's a great story. I'm really, really enjoying it, and I'm liking it way better than The Age of Innocence. So without too much rambling, I'm going to get changed, go for a walk, keep listening to Ethan Frome, and then get back, keep crocheting, and maybe pick another, well, not maybe pick another book, definitely pick another book. So let's go for a walk. What? Oh my god! I was not expecting that ending. Okay, this was so much better than I was expecting because Age of Innocence kind of made me feel a certain way about Edith Wharton's writing, and I was a little nervous to read more from her. That ending! I am in shock. Oh my god. Oh my god. So this book, I understand the cover now. Oh my gosh. Cover illustration is by Pamela Scott Wilkie. Figures in the Snow. So it says right on the top, Penguin always puts really nice little blurbs. The classic novel of despair, forbidden emotions, and sexual undercurrents set against the austere New England countryside. Ethan Frome works his unproductive farm and struggles to maintain a bearable existence with his difficult, suspicious, and hypochondriac wife, Zena. But when Zena's vivacious cousin enters their household as a hired girl, Ethan finds himself, I don't know if I like that word. They say obsessed with her, but would it be obsessed? Captivated by her, I think would be a slightly better word. And with the possibilities for happiness she comes to represent. In one of American fiction's finest and most intense narratives, Edith Wharton moves this ill-starred trio towards their tragic destinies. Different in both tone and theme from Wharton's other works, Ethan Frome has become perhaps her most enduring and most widely read book. Wow, I understand why. It's amazing. I think I want to give it 5 stars. I really loved it, and that ending was just perfect. It was perfect, and it was heartbreaking, and it was so good. So we have this main character Ethan, and we have his very unforgiving wife Zena, and then Zena's cousin is Maddie, and it's about their relationship. It kind of reminded me a bit of some themes that are discussed in Anna Karenina, which of course you know I love, and if you don't know, Anna Karenina is my favorite book ever, and oh my god, I just don't even know what to say about it. I think Age of Innocence was really slow, and I like slow books, I really do, but I feel like there was something about the Age of Innocence that I just couldn't get behind. I really don't know why. I don't know how to even word it. I tried also watching the movie adaptation with Winona Ryder, and I had to DNF the movie. I don't know why. I was just like, I had no care for the characters. I really didn't have any connection to them, and the story was just not uninteresting, but it just didn't captivate me as a reader or as a viewer watching the movie. But this, I wish I started with this. Oh my god. The characters feel very strong and very tangible, and the things that happen to them. It's interesting because I read just so many classics that aren't from America. I mean, I feel like I should give more American classics a chance, being an American myself, but I don't read as many American classics as I do classics from other countries, and especially British literature and Russian literature, of course. But I really liked this, and I'm now interested to read more from Edith Wharton. The Age of Innocence kind of like put me off, but this definitely put me back on track with her, and I think maybe she'll just be a hit or miss author with me, depending on how I feel. I know House of Mirth is supposed to be pretty good as well, and one of her more popular books, but yeah, the way that the characters are represented, the passion that is captured in such a short novel, I feel like it's exactly 99 pages, which I think is really funny. I'm just kind of blown away by this. Wow, I don't even know. I feel like my thoughts are all over the place. I'm still processing. Literally just finished it, 2 minutes ago. Yeah, I had a nice walk. I went on a walk and I was listening, and the setting of this book, it is set in the New England countryside, as they say on the back as well, and it's interesting that too, because I read so many classics from places that I've never been, and not that this is super relatable to where I live, but it was interesting to feel like I'm reading a classic from a place that I am more familiar with that's in my own country. And The Great Gatsby is actually, I think, the only other classic that I really feel that way about, because it's The Great Gatsby is set on Long Island, and I live on Long Island, so that always, not that I live in Gatsby's mansion, but I think it is really fun to read a classic that is set in your hometown or your home country, or I don't know, it was just really, really interesting to read and evaluate the setting, and I just can't get over those characters, because I had no affection or any feeling towards the characters in The Age of Innocence, and these characters felt so full of emotion and passion, and they did in Age of Innocence, but it didn't affect me in any way. So it was just really, really wonderful to read this book, and is making me interested in reading more Edith Wharton. So that's wonderful. Wow. I definitely want to reread this physically eventually. I don't know when, but I'm so glad that I picked this up at the bookstore when I went, because I was so close to not getting any book, because they really didn't have that many when I went to the bookshop, because everybody was buying all of their stock because they were closing, everything was on sale. And I saw this, it was the last copy, and I was like, you know what, I've always wanted to have a copy of it, just in case I ever want to read it. I knew that it was on the Rory Gilmore reading list, and we were doing the 24-hour readathon, and I was like, let me just get it because it's on sale. I'm so glad that I did, so that's awesome. Okay, another book done. Now I have to figure out what I'm going to be reading next, and then I'm going to get back on to crocheting. So we are returning the book. Return early, go to shelf. Okay. Other books that I have. Pinocchio is 3 hours, and that's an Italian classic, which I really want to read more Italian classics. So I read an American classic. If I read an Italian classic, that'll be my nationalities done. Because I'm Italian American, so I think that'd be fun. Okay, I think I'm going to listen to As I Lay Dying by William Faulkner, which has a full cast narration. It has the cover with James Franco on it, which I believe is the movie adaptation. Currently 2:45. So 3:45, 4:45, 5:45, 6:45, 7:45, 8:45, 9:45. That would be a little longer than the full 24 hours, but I'm gonna do it anyway, just to finish out the day. So this is going to be my last book of the readathon. I have not read any William Faulkner before. I've heard mixed things. Don't know what to expect. Played the sample, like the narration. The writing is a bit cold, but I feel like Hemingway's writing can be a bit cold, but I love it. It's like there's beauty in the coldness. So we're gonna see how it goes. If William Faulkner and Ernest Hemingway knew that that a 22-year-old girl read their books while crocheting for a Gilmore Girls readathon, I feel like they'd be really upset. But oh well, times have changed. Alright, I'm going to go back outside and crochet some more while I listen to As I Lay Dying. Also, I have no clue what As I Lay Dying is about, but I feel like that could be really fun, just going in blind. So we'll see how it goes. update. I think I'm gonna DNF this. I'm not enjoying it. I've been listening to it for almost 2 hours, an hour and 56 minutes. I'm 28% of the way through. I have 5 hours left. I just really don't feel like listening to this for another 5 hours. I don't know if I'll DNF it completely. I think I'm just going to DNF it for today. I just feel like I'm kind of lost and just not enjoying it. So yeah, I want to be enjoying this readathon. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up Pinocchio by Carlo Collodi. This is an Italian classic. On the back it says, "I think I will call him Pinocchio. It is a name that will bring him luck." This is the very popular story of the wooden boy who gets the gift of life, and it's how it kind of manipulates how he thinks and how he behaves, and when he lies his nose grows. We all know, if you don't know, the story of Pinocchio, but yes. So I only know the story of Pinocchio from like popular culture and movies. I've never read the story before, so I'm really excited to. And I also finished another 4 granny squares. It is 5 o'clock. It's 5:15 right now. And I think the Pinocchio audiobook is 3 hours, so that'll give me the perfect amount of time, even though I feel bad I wasted like 2 hours listening to As I Lay Dying. I did finish 4 more granny squares, so that's awesome. So I'm going to start Pinocchio and hopefully enjoy it much more than As I Lay Dying. So. I finished. The deed is done. My hands, my poor hands. I'm so tired. This was so much fun. I'm gonna just drop my yarn. I have the last 4 granny squares. I'm gonna take my glasses off. My eyes are just like, my eyes, my hands, my brain after listening to so many audiobooks. Here are the last 4. Here they are in all of their glory. I don't even know how many I made. So I made 4 while half listening to As I Lay Dying. I made these 4, and then I made these 4 while listening to Pinocchio. So I made 4 for each book. 4 times 4, 16. I'm horrible at math. 4 times 4 is 16, right? What is 4 times 4? 16. Yes. Go with your instincts, everyone. I'm getting a little crazy. It is 8:02. So I have, and I'll talk a little bit about Pinocchio too, I have till 9:25, 9:30. That'll be the full 24 hours. So one thing that I haven't done yet is watch an episode of Gilmore Girls, which is one of the 4 prompts. So I am going to watch my favorite episode now, but I just want to talk about Pinocchio for a little bit. So I finished Pinocchio. I really liked it. It was really funny because this is one of the only true Italian classics that I have read. I've read a lot of books where they're set in Italy, but I haven't read many Italian classics written by Italian authors. And I found a lot of the aspects of this book really funny. It's meant for children. It's more of like the main character does something wrong and learns from it, and it's very moralistic and life lessons, and it's just really, really charming and kind of what you expect from a book like this. And some things that they said were really close to home for me, being Italian, because it was something that I grew up listening to and hearing adults say. Like, they were talking about wasting food, and they said, or they ate a pear, and they were talking about the core of the pear, the middle part with the pits, and they were, I forgot what character said, I think it was Geppetto, said like, don't throw away the core, all parts of food are useful, like all food has a use. And that's definitely something that my family members always said to me growing up. And then another thing was, oh, the beans. They would talk a lot about eating beans because Geppetto was very poor, and bean soups, a lot of bean soups were just easy to access for the poor and for people that weren't very wealthy. And we always have different recipes in my family. What's the really popular one that we all like? Escarole beans, and we always call it, what my mom calls it, peasant food or something, like as a joke. Obviously my ancestors, I don't think they were peasants. I mean, maybe far back enough. Anyway, it was just really funny to hear the reference to like bean dishes, bean recipes, these life lessons that you hear about when you're a kid and you hear people tell you, and I just found it really funny. It was super bizarre and didn't really make any sense, kind of. But that's what I was expecting from it. Kind of like Alice in Wonderland, but on a completely different level. Very different stories, but kind of with the same quality to them. Kind of like Hans Christian Andersen. Like, that's like what I expected in The Brothers Grimm, and that's what you get with this book, and I really, really enjoyed it. It's between a 3 and a 4. I think closer to a 4 for me. Yeah, and then I actually didn't realize this, but I was updating my Goodreads, and Ethan Frome was my 60th book of the year, and that was my goal on my Goodreads. So I reached my goal on Goodreads. Now I'm going to make it a bit higher. Last year I read exactly 100 books, so I think I'm going to change it to 80. I think 80 is manageable, and then I can try to read 100 again, but I'm not putting that pressure on myself because I'm starting to not care as much about Goodreads challenges as long as I'm enjoying the books that I'm reading, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm getting something out of the books I'm reading. Pinocchio is my 61st book of the year. The readathon isn't over. I am going to be watching an episode of Gilmore Girls. I think I know which one I'm going to watch. I think I'm going to watch the Bid a Basket episode because it is the one that has the Hemingway scene in it that I love so much between Jess and Rory. That episode also has one of my favorite Jess lines. I don't want to spoil or anything, but Rory and her boyfriend Dean, they're together at the very beginning, so it's not a spoiler. Rory and Dean are dating, and Jess comes into town and kind of threatens the relationship, but Rory stays with Dean. And Jess says this really funny line where basically Rory and Jess have to go on this picnic because he bid on her basket, like a picnic basket, so they have to have a picnic together. And Dean is like, don't go with him, like, I don't want you to go with him, feeling really insecure. And Jess goes, oh man, she's not shipping off to Nam. It's like one of my favorite lines because I just find it so funny. Like, she's not going to the Vietnam War, she's not shipping off to Nam. It's so funny. And then she goes on the picnic and they have the whole discussion on Ernest Hemingway and Ayn Rand, I think, as well, and yeah, The Fountainhead, and then later on in that episode they talk about books again. So that's one of my favorites, and it also has really sweet Luke and Lorelai scenes and Suki and Jackson as well. So many amazing scenes in that episode, so I think that's probably one of my favorites. I don't know if it is my favorite ever, but that's the one that I'm going to be watching. So I'm going to get into comfortable clothes, third outfit change of the day. I'm going to watch some Gilmore Girls. I think I'm going to make myself another cup of tea and just have a nice cozy night and enjoy some Gilmore Girls time. I hope you guys have been enjoying this reading vlog. I will say goodbye once I finish the episode. So for now, let's go watch Gilmore Girls. Okay everyone, it is now 9:27. I don't know if you can see the time. It is 9:27, which means that the readathon is officially over. I am just watching Season 2, Episode 10, The Bracebridge Dinner, which is another one of my favorite episodes. So I watched A Tisket, A Tasket, which is Season 2, Episode 13, I think, the first one that I was mentioning. And then I'm just watching this one as well because it's another one of my favorites, and having a wonderful time. So, having my tea, I lit my milk candle, which, you know, for being someone that can't have dairy, I have a milk candle. This is called Joy in the Morning and it smells like coffee. It smells so good. And I have my tea in my frog mug, and Gilmore Girls. What more could you want after a day of reading and crocheting? This has been such a lovely day. Thank you so much for coming along with me. I'm saying this to my camera and no one else, but I feel like you are all here in spirit, so thank you so much for spending the day with me. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Let me know if you've read any of those books, or if you want to see more crocheting videos, or if you want to see more Gilmore Girls readathons. Let Kira and I know. I will be linking Kira's vlog whenever she uploads it to the description box in case you want to check it out as well. You want to see, I know Kira is filming a reading vlog. I can't wait to watch hers and see which books she read. I think I know which ones she read, but I can't wait to hear what she has to say about them. So, it is now officially over. It has been the 24 hours, and I am just going to keep watching Gilmore Girls, I think, and have a nice relaxed night. Maybe get to bed early because I'm quite tired. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you soon in another video. Happy reading.